Hello you all, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm on here to share with you all a project that I created that I had a lot of fun creating. But before I get started with sharing with you all what I created, I hope that you all are having a wonderful weekend. Also had an awesome Thanksgiving with your family and your friends. My Thanksgiving was really good. I was trying to get on here last last weekend, to share with y'all what I created, but I was worn out from Thanksgiving and all the festivities. Um, I'm going to go ahead and share with you all what I use, and then I'll share with you all what I created. So I used a lot of different things for this project. And if I don't have it here, I'll share with you in the journal if I can remember. Yeah, so because I did a lot of different things at the end. So I did use some of this is all Tim Holtz related, except for the paper that I used. So this is the rub-ons that I found on either the Craft Shack or the Retro Art Gallery Cafe. So yes, I used some rub-ons, and then I also used some of the ideology sticker book, just some of the quotes out of here. I did use some Foundry Wax and Gilded, just a little bit of that. I also used some distress paint for a little bit of painting. I also used some distress grit paste and snowfall. This right here is it's called pet tape, and this is I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me see if I can get something else too. There we go. So it's called pet tape, and it just has just a lot of different sayings and words and stuff like that on there. And this is by Art and Create, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, so I had purchased this tape when I had purchased some other things from that collection several months ago. So yes, I used some of that. And then I use this die, which is called Mini Christmas Things. So I just use this die right here. And then I use the Merry Christmas, the smaller size. And this is called Christmas Ribbon. And then I use the Merry from this die, and it's called Merry and Bright. Of course, Merry and Bright. And then from this die, this is the Vault Holiday Classic. And I use the Wish, the poinsettias, and the Noel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. I've had this die in my stash for a long time. This probably was one of my first Tim Holtz purchases, but I just never used it. So it's my first time using this, and this is called Stitched Slots. And then I use this die right here, and this is called, I'm good enough, I covered up everything. This die is called, one moment, Collector. Yeah, Collector. I'll put that back here in a minute. And then I use this die right here, the envelope, and this is called Postal. And then from the holiday class with Tim Holtz and Heidi from Simon Says Stamp, I did use this die right here. And this is called Festive Tag, so I just use that one. And then the stamps that I use, okay, so you'll see the stamps when I show you the journal, what I created. Oh my goodness, I did create a journal. So this is the correspondence CMS 225. So I just use some stamps from there. I use the holiday postmarks, which is CMS 323. And I use the eccentric CMS 448. Because I don't remember which one I use. And then the paper that I use is Graphic 45 Letters to Santa. And the only thing I purchased from this particular collection is just this paper pad. I got this last year. So that's the paper that I use, and then I mix in, you know, some Tim Holtz. A lot of Tim Holtz. And then one of the things I use to create my journal with you all is I made some homemade banana pudding for Thanksgiving, so I kept my box, and so this is what I use for my book. So let me go ahead and move this stuff to the side so I can share with you all my journal. So here is my journal that I created. And I love the way it turned out. I can hang some charms from it. I can put some book corners, but I didn't want to do any of that. I like it just the way it is. So yeah, so let me just go ahead and share with you all really closely. And again, it's Graphic 45 Letters to Santa. So I use the graphic 45 paper to cover my box. And I just cut the box down to size. And I believe this is about 7.5 by almost 5 inches. Yeah, so that's what I did. And so I covered the front and the back once I cut the box, you know, to the size that I needed. And then I took some of the paper and I just cut it a little bit bigger than the spine to wrap it around. So some of it comes on the front and then the rest goes on the back. Just so when I open up the book, it doesn't have that paper when you cut, you know, like if I lay this down and cut it, it's, you know, it's like lifting. I don't want that look, so I just covered the whole thing and it works just fine. And I did use walnut stain to ink to distress everything pretty much. So this is a cut apart right here on the front from the paper collection. And then here's the poinsettia dies that I cut out, layered up the small and the large. And then I did use some of the chunky rock glitter to glitter it up. And then this right here, the wish, is from that die I showed you. And I used the metallic cardstock in gold to just put the wish there. And that's pretty much it on this page. And this is using distress ink to color the poinsettias and the little centers up before I put the distress rock candy on it. So when you open up the inside cover, so this is some ephemera from Tim Holtz right here, and that's where I use a stamp from one of the stamps that I showed you. And then this is just a little cut apart from the paper pad. And then this is a rub-on, the 25B of North Pole. The tags that all the tags that I created is just the scraps from the paper that I laid down inside the journal. So that's one of the tags in the pocket. And then we have like a little ephemera piece from the Christmas ephemera from Tim Holtz. And then I put a little ideology faceted star. And then I also have some of the vintage, what do you call it? Vintage tape from Tim Holtz ideology pack. So that's the first page. And it says he's making a list and checking it twice, going to find out who's naughty or nice. And then over here, I use one of the Tim Holtz like baseboards, I believe, the window. And I put one of the Christmas trees ephemera behind it. And I did use like some little sequins to like make it look like there are bulbs, but you probably can hardly see that. And then this is where I use that snow grit, that grit paste snowfall to kind of make it look like it's snow on the outside. This is like a little ideology piece that I use, and I just use one of like the little fasteners to put that on there at the top. Ephemera from Tim Holtz, ephemera from Tim Holtz as well. And then I use the rock candy glitter to glitter up the berries. I was going to color in the paper dolls, but I decided to leave them like they were. I just like them just as they are. And then this is a metal piece, ideology piece that says holiday wishes. I did use some distress paint to paint that, and then the crayon to rub on top to see the holiday wishes. And then we have some of the drops. I can never think of the name when I come on camera, but the drops to put on each side. And then it says, baby, it's cold outside, winter is coming. Then on this page, we have a clip, and I just used one of the little cut aparts from the paper pad. I put these paper dolls here, and then I use the compliments season ephemera, and it says it's the most wonderful time of the year at the bottom. And this, and so the spine, oh, I also use, I used some number, so I used some washi tape here. That's what you see right here on the side. But once I lay down the other tape, washi tape here, I would lay that down on the spine of the book inside, and then I put the washi on each side. And then on the inside right here, I just cut it down to fit because I didn't want the craft cardstock, because I did use Tim Holtz craft cardstock to make the pages. And so basically you have a 10.5 sheet. Let me go ahead and explain that. You have a 10.5 sheet, you have your paper cut at 10.5, and then you score it at 1/2 inch, and then you fold it, therefore you got your pages of your book. So I just did it 3 times, so I have several pages to work with. So yeah, so that's what I did. And so on the center of it, since it was just craft cardstock, I wanted to cover that up as well with that pet tape. So yeah, that's this page. And then I just, like I said, I have a little clip here just to hold that in place. And I don't know if this is going to stay right here or not, but that's where it's at right now. Okay, and then on this page, we have some more ephemera from Tim Holtz. Here's that Merry Christmas that I cut out in red metallic cardstock. We have another paper doll here, and it says Believe with a little ideology star. And then another pocket, of course, with some scraps from the paper. And then we have this page right here, and there's that Noel. And then this is just an ephemera piece from Tim Holtz, and I just made like a little tuck spot. So this is what it is right now. I just stuck that in there. And then this is just a simple little page that I created, and it's just using the ideology frame that I used the foundry wax and gilded on to make it gold. And then this is a ephemera piece from Tim Holtz Christmas pack. I did some poinsettias in the corner. And then here's that die that I showed you that says 25. And then we have the fireplace with Hursting on the front, the paper doll. And it says on Christmas night by the fireplace. So that's what I did on that page. And then here is the next page. And this is using that envelope. And I did use some more of the, so there's several pages that have the vintage tape from Tim Holtz on it. So if I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's what I did there. And then we have the pocket with just an ephemera piece that I just kind of distressed and just folded and put it in the pocket. And then this is from the Graphic 45 collection. And I think it's another page. Oh yeah, I did the same thing with the vintage tape on this page as well. And also over here. So yeah, so that's what I did. And so that's that page. And then here we go with this page. And so some more ephemera from Tim Holtz. And there's another stamp that I used from one of the stamp sets. Another tag made with scraps in the pocket that says Sweets and Candy Cane. So I used a 5 for 5 cents from Tim Holtz ephemera and the confectionery at the bottom with another paper doll. And then we have this page, and this was like a oops page a little bit because I was trying to do something else, but this is the way it came out. So I just got another little clip here with an ephemera, cut apart from the paper pad. Tim Holtz ephemera with a stamp, flare that says "'Tis the Season," and then we got some more ephemera from Tim Holtz, the bow, the flower arrangement here, the 25, the paper doll, and then the candy cane. And I did glitter that up with some distressed rock candy as well. I don't know if you can see that. And then I did put a little droplet. I think that's what it's called. I can't think, but I put that on the necklace of her necklace. Okay, so that's what I did there. And then over here we have Peace using gold metallic cardstock from Tim Holtz. We have some more of the vintage tape, the poinsettia or with the berries, another ephemera from Tim Holtz, and a paper doll. And you know what, guys, this used to bother me, like, you know, the background being busy and then putting stuff on top of that. You really used to bother me, but I really like that look, you know, that I'm into the mixed media and the vintage and all that. So I love the way this looks. So I did that, and then we have another page with the Mary that I cut out. And then that's that pocket, and then everything is just kind of stuffed in here. And he showed us, Tim Holtz showed us how to do this in that holiday class with Heidi from Simon Says Stamp. So this is not the die that came with the kit from the holiday class, but it's the die that is Tim Holtz die that I used. And then this is a rub-on right here that says Holiday Greetings. Here's some more of them poinsettias that I glittered up with distressed rock candy. We have a little clip here with one of the stamps from the collection, the paper pad hanging there, and it does say special delivery. And then this is I didn't wrap this back up, but this is another die that I use, and this is just a little pocket. So let me just see if I can get this out. There we go. So in this pocket I put this another rub-on, the stamp with ephemera from Tim Holtz, and I just used one of the stamps, and I didn't bring that stamp with me. I know I was gonna forget something, but this is what the stamp, this comes with the stamp. It says via North Pole 25, here I come, though I'm still quite far away, I will be there for Christmas Day, Santa Claus. So that's a letter from Santa Claus that I put there. And that's just stuck in that pocket. And then I did put one of the droplets to cover up the little hole that I had that was, you know, like this one here. I just put it down here. And of course, this is my favorite page right here. So this is another envelope with a little postcard, Post Office, 74th Street, Broadway. Some ephemera from, this is all ephemera from Tim Holtz, a star. We have some more of the vintage tape, the envelope, and then I just stuck this little postcard inside the envelope. And then we have another like little stamp from the Graphic 45 paper pad. And then we have stars, the ideology stars on the corner of each one. So I did the stars on several pages. So yeah, so that goes there. And then, like I said, this is my favorite page. And then this is the last page. So we have some more ephemera from Tim Holtz, with little stars that I put there. And also on, so I put the star on each one of the little flashcards that I use inside the journal. Here, right here, and then right here. So yeah, so each one has a star on it. And then the paper doll sitting on top of the pocket, more scraps. And I did use, you know what, I showed you of the wrong die. So I did use this die with the scallop corners, not the other one. So like I said, the stars, and then special delivery, North Pole. And then this is the back of the book. And so this is my journal that I created. Love the way it turned out. I had a lot of fun putting this together, you all. A lot of fun. I'm always the type of person to do the cover, decorate the cover, but then when it comes to the inside, I get lost. But this right here, I just put it down. You know, Tim Holtz always says in his videos, don't think so hard about what you're doing. Just do it, you know. Lay your pages, do what you're going to do, walk away from it. And a lot of times when you come back to it, you're going to like the outcome of what you did that you didn't like before you left it. So yeah, so this is my journal, you all, that I wanted to share with you all, that I created Thanksgiving weekend, and then I just added some things to it yesterday to finish it up. So yeah, so I hope that you all enjoyed my share of my journal for Christmas using the Letters from Santa Graphic 45 paper collection. This one right here, lots and lots of fun, you know, using that along with Tim Holtz ideology and ephemera. So yeah, so I want to thank you all so much for watching. You all have yourself a great rest of your day. Have a great week ahead, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.